Have you ever felt like you're watching yourself destroy something beautiful? Like you're standing outside your own body, watching as you push away someone who genuinely cares about you? Maybe they got too close. Maybe they said, "I love you" first. Or maybe they just started showing up consistently in your life, and suddenly, every alarm bell in your system goes off. You find yourself picking fights over nothing. You stop texting back. You create distance where there was once warmth. And the worst part? You hate yourself for it, but you can't seem to stop. If that sounds familiar, if you've ever wondered why you sabotage your own happiness when it comes to relationships, then this video is for you. Because what you're experiencing isn't a character flaw. It's not because you're broken or unlovable. It's because of something much deeper. Something that was wired into your nervous system long before you even knew what love was supposed to feel like. Why this topic matters. This video is for anyone who has ever felt like they're their own worst enemy in relationships. Maybe you're someone who desperately wants connection, but finds yourself running when it gets real. Maybe you're tired of the same patterns playing out over and over again. Or maybe someone you love keeps pushing you away, and you want to understand why. What we're going to talk about today isn't just theory. It's the key to understanding why your brain treats love like a threat, why intimacy feels scary instead of safe, and most importantly, how you can start to change these patterns. Because here's what I want you to know, right from the start. You're not doomed to repeat these cycles forever. Understanding is the first step toward freedom. Misconceptions about pushing people away. Before we dive deep, let's clear up some misconceptions. When people push others away in relationships, we often hear things like, they're just commitment phobic, or they don't want to be tied down, or they're selfish. But here's the truth. Most people who push others away desperately want connection. They're not running from love because they don't want it. They're running from love because their nervous system has learned that closeness equals danger. This isn't a conscious choice. It's not about being mean or wanting to hurt people. It's about survival. Your brain is trying to protect you from what it perceives as a threat, even when that threat is actually someone offering you exactly what your heart craves. Another misconception is that people who push others away are always the strong, independent types. The truth is, this behavior shows up in all kinds of people. The ones who seem confident, the ones who seem needy, the ones who appear to have it all together, and the ones who are obviously struggling. Attachment styles don't discriminate based on how successful or put together someone appears on the outside. Understanding attachment styles. So what exactly are attachment styles? Think of them as the blueprint your nervous system created for how relationships work based on your earliest experiences with caregivers. These blueprints were formed before you could think or reason. They're stored in the deepest parts of your brain, influencing how you feel about closeness, trust, and safety. There are 4 main attachment styles, and understanding yours can be life-changing. Secure attachment is what we all hope for. People with secure attachment generally feel comfortable with intimacy and independence. They can express their needs clearly, they trust that their partner cares about them, and they don't panic when their partner needs space. They learned early on that relationships are generally safe, that people can be trusted, and that they're worthy of love. Anxious attachment shows up as a constant fear of abandonment. If you have an anxious attachment style, you might find yourself always worried that people will leave you. You might check your phone obsessively, overanalyze every interaction, or become clingy when you sense distance. You learned early that love is unpredictable. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. So you're always on high alert, trying to make sure it doesn't disappear. Avoidant attachment is often what we see in people who push others away. If you have an avoidant attachment style, you might feel uncomfortable with too much closeness. You value your independence highly. You might shut down emotionally when things get intense, and you often prefer to handle problems alone. You learned early that depending on others leads to disappointment, so you became incredibly self-reliant. Fearful avoidant attachment also called disorganized attachment, is like having your foot on the gas and the brake at the same time. You desperately want close relationships, but you're also terrified of them. You might find yourself pushing people away right after pulling them close, or feeling confused about what you actually want in relationships. You learned early that the people who were supposed to care for you were also sources of fear or pain. Here's what's crucial to understand. None of these styles are your fault. They developed as brilliant adaptations to your early environment. Your nervous system looked at the world around you and said, "Okay, this is how I need to behave to survive and get my needs met." The problem is that these strategies that once protected you might now be preventing you from experiencing the love and connection you deserve. Let me paint you a picture of what this might look like in real life. Imagine Sarah, a 28-year-old who has always been successful in her career, has close friendships, and seems to have her life together. But every time she starts dating someone who seems genuinely interested in a real relationship, something inside her shifts. At first, everything feels amazing. She's excited, hopeful, maybe even thinks this could be the one. But as weeks turn into months, as this person starts talking about the future, as they begin to integrate into her life in real ways, Sarah starts to feel trapped. Not because this person is controlling or demanding, but because something deep inside her is screaming danger. She starts noticing all their flaws. She begins to feel suffocated by their texts. When they say they miss her, instead of feeling loved, she feels pressured. She starts working later, making plans with friends on the nights they usually spend together, finding reasons why this relationship isn't right. Eventually, she breaks up with them, usually with some rational explanation about incompatibility or timing. Afterward, Sarah feels relief, but also profound sadness. She genuinely cared about this person. She can see that they were kind, loving, and compatible with her. But being close to them felt like wearing a sweater that was too tight. She couldn't breathe. She starts to wonder if something is wrong with her, if she's capable of love, if she'll ever be able to maintain a healthy relationship. What Sarah doesn't realize is that her nervous system learned early that depending on someone else wasn't safe. Maybe her parents were emotionally unavailable, maybe they were inconsistent, or maybe they were loving, but overwhelmed and couldn't provide the steady, secure presence she needed. Her little nervous system adapted by becoming incredibly self-sufficient and viewing emotional dependency as dangerous. The science behind attachment. Here's what's happening in your brain when you push people away. Your attachment system is controlled by some of the oldest parts of your brain, areas that developed long before humans had language or complex reasoning abilities. These areas are constantly scanning for threats and opportunities, and they make split-second decisions about safety based on patterns they learned very early in life. When someone gets close to you, your nervous system runs a quick scan. Is this safe? Can I trust this? What happened last time I let someone this close? If your early experiences taught you that closeness leads to disappointment, control, or abandonment, your nervous system will sound the alarm even when the person in front of you is trustworthy and loving. This creates what researchers call earned security versus learned insecurity. Your logical brain might know that this person is safe, but your nervous system is operating on old information. It's like having a smoke detector that goes off every time you cook dinner. It's doing its job based on past programming, but it's not accurately reading the current situation. The stress hormone cortisol floods your system, your heart rate increases, and you feel an urgent need to create distance. This isn't weakness or selfishness. This is your nervous system trying to protect you from what it perceives as danger. Signs of insecure attachment. So how do you know if you have an insecure attachment style that's causing you to push people away? Here are some common signs. You might find yourself feeling anxious or trapped when relationships start to get serious. The closer someone gets, the more you want to run. You might start fights over small things when you're feeling too close to someone, almost like you're looking for a reason to create distance. You might have a hard time expressing your needs or emotions in relationships. When your partner asks, "What's wrong?" you might genuinely not know, or you might say nothing, even when something is clearly bothering you. You might feel like you lose yourself in relationships, like you need to choose between being close to someone and being true to yourself. You might panic when someone says they love you, even if you love them too. You might find yourself attracted to people who are unavailable, emotionally, physically, or otherwise. Safe, available people might feel boring or suffocating to you. You might have a pattern of sabotaging relationships right when they start to get good. Just when things are going well, you might find yourself pulling away, cheating, or finding faults that weren't there before. You might feel like you're watching yourself destroy relationships, but feel powerless to stop it. You know you're hurting someone you care about, but the urge to create distance feels stronger than your desire to stay close. If any of these resonate with you, please know that recognizing these patterns is actually a sign of incredible self-awareness, not a sign that you're broken. Hope and the possibility of change. Here's what I need you to understand. Your attachment style is not your destiny. While these patterns were formed early and run deep, your brain maintains something called neuroplasticity throughout your entire life. This means you can literally rewire these old patterns and create new, healthier ways of connecting with others. Change is possible, but it takes patience, compassion, and often some support. You're essentially teaching your nervous system that it's safe to be close to people, and that takes time. Think of it like training a rescue dog who's been hurt before. You have to move slowly, be consistent, and prove through your actions that this time is different. Thousands of people have moved from insecure attachment styles to more secure ones. It's not about becoming a different person. It's about healing the parts of you that learn to fear the very thing you most desire. Gentle mindset shifts and practical tools. So how do you start? The first step is developing what I call compassionate curiosity about your patterns. Instead of judging yourself when you notice the urge to push someone away, try to get curious about it. What does this feeling remind you of? When did you first learn that closeness wasn't safe? What is your nervous system trying to protect you from? Practice noticing the physical sensations that come up when you start to feel too close to someone. Does your chest get tight? Do you feel restless? Does your breathing change? These physical cues can help you recognize when your attachment system is activated, giving you a chance to respond consciously instead of just reacting. Learn to communicate your internal experience. This might sound like, "I'm feeling overwhelmed right now, and I'm noticing my urge to pull away." It's not about you. It's about something old that gets triggered when I feel close to people. Can we talk about this? Start small with vulnerability. If opening up completely feels too scary, try sharing something small but meaningful. Notice that the world doesn't end when you let someone see a little bit more of who you really are. Practice self-soothing techniques. When your nervous system gets activated, you need ways to calm it down that don't involve pushing people away. This might be deep breathing, going for a walk, journaling, or any other activity that helps you feel grounded. Consider working with a therapist who understands attachment theory. Sometimes we need professional support to navigate these deep patterns, and that's not only okay, it's incredibly wise. Remember that healing doesn't happen in isolation. While it might feel safer to work on yourself alone, secure attachment is actually built through relationships. You need experiences of being seen, accepted, and cared for even when you're struggling. This might come from a therapist, a trusted friend, a support group, or eventually a romantic partner who's patient enough to help you learn that love doesn't have to be scary. I want to leave you with this. You are not too much, and you are not enough. You are not broken, and you are not doomed to repeat the same patterns forever. The very fact that you're watching this video, that you're trying to understand yourself better, shows incredible courage and self-awareness. Your attachment style developed as a brilliant adaptation to keep you safe in circumstances where you had very little control. That little person inside you who learned to push people away was doing the best they could with what they had. Thank them for keeping you safe all these years, and then gently let them know that you're ready to try something different. Love doesn't have to be earned through perfection. You don't have to have it all figured out before you're worthy of connection. Some of the most beautiful relationships are built by two people who are brave enough to be imperfect together, who are willing to show up for each other even when it's scary. Your capacity to love and be loved isn't diminished by your attachment style. It's just waiting to be unlocked. Every small step you take toward understanding yourself, every moment you choose curiosity over judgment, every time you stay present instead of running away, you're rewiring your brain for connection. The world needs your unique way of loving. Yes, even with all your protective strategies and walls and fears, especially with all of that. Because when you finally do let someone in, when you allow yourself to be truly seen and loved, the depth of connection you're capable of will be extraordinary. You've survived everything that taught you love wasn't safe. You're stronger than you know, more resilient than you realize, and more deserving of love than you've ever been told. Your healing matters, not just for you, but for everyone whose life you'll touch along the way. Take it one day at a time, one breath at a time, one brave moment at a time. You've got this, and you don't have to figure it all out alone. If this video resonated with you, I want you to do something right now that might feel a little scary, but incredibly powerful. In the comments below, share just one word that describes how you're feeling after watching this. Maybe it's hopeful, maybe it's understood, maybe it's terrified. Whatever it is, let that word be your first small step toward vulnerability. And here's why this matters. When you share that word, you're not just commenting on a video. You're practicing the exact opposite of pushing people away. You're letting yourself be seen by this community of people who understand exactly what you're going through. I want you to know that whatever word you share, you're not alone in feeling it. This community has become a safe space for people to practice being real, being imperfect, and being brave together. And if this video helped you understand yourself or someone you love a little bit better, please share it with one person who might need to hear this message. Sometimes the most healing thing we can do is help someone else realize they're not alone in their struggles. Subscribe if you want more content about healing, growing, and learning to love yourself through the process. Hit the notification bell because I release new videos every week that dive deep into the real, messy, beautiful work of becoming who you're meant to be. Remember, your healing journey matters. You matter. And I'm genuinely honored that you trusted me with your time today. I'll see you in the next video.